Do you need a Dune Awakening build that will help you one-shot enemies even up to the harder areas? Also while mitigating damage, meaning that you can save out on supplies and not having to use meds, where most of the time you won't take any damage at all. Where this build will last you even into the endgame, and show you all the locations for the level 2 trainers, which yes applies to every single class. That should help you through your playthroughs. Then I got the Dune Awakening build for you. What's up, world? It's Utopia here, back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things Dune Awakening. Let's just jump right into it. So first off, yes, this build can essentially one-shot enemies, all while taking 0 damage, even into some of the hardest areas that require T5 and T6. Now, I wouldn't recommend going there just yet, but there are a few quests that I would recommend and do so. So if we look at the build overall, you can obviously grasp from this, this is a melee run build, but it essentially allows you to take no damage and you're one-shotting enemies anyways, meaning you don't need to hide behind cover or any of that nonsense, and you have great stun mechanics as well as being able to one-shot. So we'll look at this one overall, and yes, this is a Swordmaster build. Now the Swordmaster trainer you can get fairly early on, and it is near this location where you can go there and get the Swordmaster 1. If you're already Swordmaster though, you can go ahead and head to the Harkin location, and I'll showcase where to actually get to that. So you can do it from any trade post actually. If you head to this wing section vendor, to the level 2 vendor, that will cost you around 2,500 Solari, but to do the full quest you will need about 5,000, but you will get redeemed for this, and you actually don't need any more to travel back. So it'll cost 2,500 there, but you don't need to spend 2,500 to come back to the trade post. So you essentially are buying a two-way ticket, where yes, it will be 2,500 each time, but you do get redeemed. So essentially you will get redeemed, or at least doing the quest for the vendor, you will get redeemed in your inventory. Moving back though, let's go over the actual skill tree, what we're utilizing, what things actually don't work from other classes that I've tested. So first off here, they're going to make you start in knee charge, and you will have to go right away into deflection, which is a decent ability, but I don't really utilize that one. After deflection, we're going to go into reckless lunge. We're going to keep this one at level 1 for right now. I could bring this up to level 2, but it's about only a 10% increase here. It can be significant, but I do find this one not to be the most insanely useful, although it can help in those T5 areas. Or next up here, we do have confidence, where every time you do a difficult attack like a sprint or slow bait, you gain increased confidence, which reflects damage as mitigation. This one more than likely is what I might upgrade, although it's only a 5% increase with each level. The one massively that you do want to upgrade here though after this little section is the knee charge. Now knee charge starts off with level 1. Now I'm not able to show it here, but it is only around 40 damage, I think, or 35 damage, where it has around 120 poise damage. This one at level 2 bumps it up like 8 times near, which is all the way up to 160 damage. It stays at the same cooldown, but it does a massive amount more damage. This is going to help you one-shot. This is very strong. It stuns, it can one-shot, and it is really, really useful. Jumping over, we're going to get Field Medicine. We're going to keep that one on level 1 with Crippling Strike for our next stun ability. This one actually is an AOE stun as well, so you can stun multiple enemies with this one, and it does damage. You can do some nice one-shot mechanics with another ability that ties into it that I'll showcase in a bit. Moving on, we're going to take General Conditioning, and I bumped this one up to level 2. I believe level 1 starts at 15, then you go to 20, and then 25. So it's 5 every time, but having more stamina is a must with Swordsman. You're really going to want to utilize stamina as much as you can. Where yes, we're also taking Disciplined Breathing, which that's going to help and give us stamina recovery. You also start with a 10% on level 1, with level 2 going to a 15%, and then level 3 going 20. So it's 5% each time there. Again, we want as much stamina as we can, which is also why I am taking Optimized Hydration. Your body knows how to optimize, or at least optimal use of water, so you get a 25% bonus here. It was a 15%, 20% at level 2, so we put that one on level 2, and you're always going to want to stay hydrated. It's fairly easy to actually get the blood packs that you can actually get water, so you really should always be hydrated for the most part, especially if you're using a still suit. Definitely recommend that there. Could also take Desert Conditioning if you're mostly dehydrated. That one can help you too, but for right now I do avoid that as I don't really utilize it as much. We're also of course going to take blade damage, and we are going to increase that to level 2. Now they did nerf this from the beta. I believe it was 5%, 10%, and 15. Now this is 3, 6, and 9. So it's a bit of a nerf there, not too crazy, but we're down at 3%, then to 6, Of course, you want to get as much damage as we can into blade damage. Where we do get Dance of Blades, we're going to keep this one at level 1 with a 15% bonus increase. This is when we down an enemy or eliminate an enemy, our next attack will actually get a damage increase. Or we see here a level 1 is a 10% damage boost, level 2 is a 15% damage boost, and level 3 is 20%. And this duration is actually a little bit longer than beta. I believe it's only 6 seconds. This one's 10 seconds. So you actually can get at least another few attacks in on an enemy. That's really nice. And then we're going to take long blade damage, and I am rocking 2 into this one as I do use a long blade, and that goes from 5 to 10% to 15, so we got an extra 5% damage bonus there on level 2. Jumping over, we did actually also take Trooper. Now the reason why is because I like the Shigawire Claw. I think it's a really good ability as it has nice stun mechanics with it. Of course, eventually you're going to want to go Bene Gesserit, but Trooper is one of the easiest ones to get. It's the vendor at the very beginning, where you will want to go grab that as soon as possible to get Trooper. It's a very easy quest, one quest and done. Now, unfortunately, don't make this mistake like I did, but Battle Hardened actually doesn't work with Swordsmaster. Now, I figured it would, even though it says Trooper Training prepares you for the realities of combat, allows you to use your abilities more often. This only applies to Trooper abilities, unfortunately. So unless you're taking more of the stuff in here as a swordsman, this doesn't apply to all abilities. I figured this was going to be the play for all classes. It actually doesn't work with all classes, so don't make that mistake there. If you do make a mistake or you need to respec your skill tree, speaking of that, you can do so once every 48 hours completely for free. So that's super nice there. It's a little button down here that you can respec your skill tree. But for right now, learn from my mistake. Don't take Battle Hardened. It doesn't work on any other class but Trooper. As I said, Shigawire Claw is the one that I use, so we're using Knee Charge, Shigawire Claw, and the Crippling Strike. So we have 2 stun abilities here, actually really 3 stun abilities here, 2 of which do damage. Also for techniques, Reckless Lunge, Dance of Blades, and the Disciplined Breathing. Those are the only ones we have anyways. We don't have the extra one aside from the Battle Hardened, which was a mistake. And of course, we're not taking Deflection, although Deflection is a very good one and can help you in the higher areas. Does cost stamina, but you're basically deflecting the whole time. It's a very decent ability, and I definitely recommend taking this if you're having trouble surviving. Now that let's cover the skill tree side of things, what do we have for gear? We're actually in near full T3 gear at the moment, which is the Slayer Scout Mask. You're going to want to take light armor or a still suit. Don't recommend heavy armor as it's going to use a lot more stamina. You can see that here in a second, that it will utilize a lot more stamina. I do have to swap these heavy boots off that I have right now. These are the Karab heavy boots. Keep forgetting to swap these off, but eventually I will. You can see the differences here. So dash stamina cost is minus 3%, where this one has a plus 3%. So basically these are canceling out right now. It's actually costing me more stamina to wear this part. Now, of course, there is more mitigation with it. This one doesn't have as much mitigation except for blade. It doesn't have any mitigation at all. And this one also doesn't have heat protection for heavy. So you can see the differences there on these two. You can pause the video if you want to look at that. But I am rocking basically a full light set, and then also in T3 gear, which is the steel gear. And we are rocking an Artisan Sword, again a steel sword, and we're also rocking a standard disruptor, but I don't utilize it very much as we mostly do all combat with the Artisan Sword. I would recommend being in at least T3 if you are going to do your quests, which are the Harken quests. If you do the Swordsmaster 2 quests, they are fairly easy to get, and you probably should grab those unless you're really working on farming with your base. I more than likely would just go grab those. They're very easy. You could follow the route here that I take, which is just once you land, you head in straight, you follow the curve around, then you make a left at one of these turns here, and you go straight down from that, and there is the person here who is actually the quest giver. Now there is about 4 quests you have to do with them, but 3 of them are actually in Harken, or one of them he will send you to a higher level area in the Haga Basin, but it is fairly easy to do if you are in T2 gear. You do want to be pretty precautious and bring meds though, for sure, as there are a lot of enemies stacked up, a lot of flamethrowers, so make sure you're taking precautions there, but it is definitely worth it. As I said, you do get a refund for all the Solaria that you use, and you also do pick up your Swordmaster 3 quest. So you'll see here, I actually do have Swordmaster 3 ready to unlock once I do this quest, which I could do right now and even get Swordmaster 3, although I'm going to stay with Swordmaster 2, as a lot of these components I'm not going to utilize that, and I kind of want to farm up my gear and get T4 going so I can upgrade to that. Again, you can complete this fully built around level 40. Should about cover everything from these skills to the gear. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments down below and I'll try to answer them when I can. And if you enjoyed today's video, like and subscribe, and until the next one. Deuce.